Okay, I'm back. It's me, Erfon Elijah, and Erfon Elijah, and Erfon Elijah. We're all here. We're going to be talking about HomePods today. Now, in case you missed my video last week, I made a video about HomePods on Apple TV with Dolby Atmos. I did a real-time sound test. You can see my reaction as I hear it for the first time because I was truly stunned. One of the things that surprised me about this video, well, A, is that you guys liked it as much as you did, but how many questions I got. There's so much confusion about how this works. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? How many HomePods can you use? Can you use HomePod minis? Does it have to be the original HomePods? How does this compare to a soundbar? So on and so forth. So that's the purpose of this video today. I'm going to kick it off with this one because I think this is one of the most important points with HomePods and Apple TV and your television, and this is one of the features that makes it so special. Here's the great thing about HomePods with Apple TV. It doesn't matter what actual television you have, because if you think about it, the sound is coming in through your Apple TV and then it's going out to your speakers. And so that sound could either be going out to your TV or out to your HomePods. And so it doesn't matter what TV you have. You can have an ancient TV like I do, and it will still support Dolby Atmos because all of the audio processing is happening on your Apple TV, not on your television. And it's going from your Apple TV into your HomePods. And the television at that point is just being used for pictures. So I have an older television. The picture is absolutely beautiful, but it doesn't support Dolby Atmos. It's too old. And yet Dolby Atmos works perfectly on my television because it's all happening on the Apple TV 4K. Okay, one of the most popular questions by far is, do you have to have 2 or 3 HomePods? Can you use it with 2 HomePods in the front, 2 HomePods in the back? You can only have 2 HomePods connected to your Apple TV at any one time. You can either do 2 regular HomePods, which will use Dolby Atmos when available if your content supports it, or you can have 2 HomePod minis. Now, the HomePod minis only do stereo. They don't support Dolby Atmos, so I would recommend getting the original HomePods because they have spatial awareness. They support Dolby Atmos. They sound magnificent. Now, I have 2 HomePod minis. They're coming in this week, so stay tuned for a comparison video on HomePod versus HomePod mini. What does that say there? Elio Mercado. Now that you have reference using 2 HomePods, because you make a test using only 1 HomePod. Now, surprisingly, you actually can use just 1 HomePod, and it will do Dolby Atmos. It will also do 7.1 and 5.1 surround sound. How well does it work? I don't know. That's what we need to test out. It clearly won't be as loud or as powerful, but what I'm curious about is, where do you place the HomePod exactly? With 2 HomePods, it goes one to the left, one to the right. That makes a lot of sense. But with one, you just keep it like in the middle of your TV. So your TV's right here, and you just have like a HomePod sticking up in the middle, blocking your content. Or does it actually work when it's off to the left or the right of the TV? That's what I'm going to be testing out. So stay tuned for that. Big Tony's bringing it in for the realness. He's also got a really nice baseball cap on there, although I think he needs to wash it. Can it work with YouTube TV? Yes, it can, but only in stereo. YouTube doesn't support Dolby Atmos. This was one of the most confusing aspects of the HomePods, and it's probably one of the most popular questions that I get. What content actually supports Dolby Atmos? Where can you get Dolby Atmos when you're streaming content on your Apple TV? Now, if you want Dolby Atmos, there are some apps that support it. Netflix does, but you have to be subscribed to their 4K Ultra tier, which is one of their higher premium tiers. That might even be their highest tier. That's the only tier that they have that will give you Dolby Atmos. Otherwise, they give you 5.1 surround sound because Netflix likes to nickel and dime everyone for every single feature. So unless you have their 4K tier, you are not going to be getting Dolby Atmos level audio from Netflix. You have to upgrade to their higher 4K plan. Now, of course, Apple TV Plus, I think, supports Dolby Atmos in absolutely everything because Apple's the underdog and they're throwing like every feature they can to get you to subscribe. I was watching some show on Apple TV Plus. I heard some sound going off behind me, with 2 HomePods in front of me, and I thought my neighbor was doing something outside my house. So I paused to like turn around and the noise stopped. So I hit play again, and immediately I could hear the noise going off behind me. I kid you not, there are some instances where the Dolby Atmos content sounds like it's coming from behind you, even though you only have 2 HomePods in front of you virtualizing Dolby Atmos. Sometimes through whatever magic of the technology that they're using, it sounds like the sound is coming from the sides of you, right in front of you, and then every once in a while, it's coming like right over your shoulder, and it will make you turn your head. Now, Disney Plus definitely supports Dolby Atmos, and a lot of their more popular content and newer content all support Dolby Atmos, so you'll get it there. Like all the Star Wars content all support Atmos. I think the Marvel movies all support Dolby Atmos. So what you need to do is go into the content properties in one of the apps and just look to see what the content is being played in. It will tell you 5.1 or Dolby Atmos or something like that, and you could see exactly what you're getting. But Jay Berkowitz wants to know, can you use the HomePods in conjunction with other stereo speakers with the Apple TV? If you want to cause yourself a seizure and have two different kinds of sounds happening at the same time, but totally out of sync, then maybe you should try this. But for the most part, no, this is not officially supported. You can either use your HomePods for the audio, or you can use your home theater system. You can't add a sound bar to use with your HomePods. You can't use your HomePods with your current sound system. You're either going to use the HomePods 2 at max with your Apple TV, or you're going to use a completely different sound system. You can't use more than one sound system at a time. That just doesn't work, and quite honestly, it will probably make your brain break.
This is stereo, not Dolby Atmos. Any $200 soundbar will do the same. I got a soundbar from the Goodwill for $26, and it does 9.12 stereo Dolby Atmos, and it beats the HomePods any day of the week.
Okay, Robert, no argument. You enjoy your Dolby Atmos 9.12 $26 Goodwill soundbar. I'm going to stick with my HomePods in stereo mode. Utsav Rati! Utsav says, how would you compare this setup to something like the Sonos Arc? I am so happy you asked that question, Utsav. So I want to compare this to the Sonos Arc because that's a comment that I've seen a lot going on in the comment section. I'm going to reach out to Sonos and see if they'll send me a Sonos Arc to review. We'll see what they say. If they do, I'm going to have a comparison video, Sonos Arc versus HomePods in stereo mode. This is a great question by 410 Asal. Did they ever fix the sound level on the HomePods when using them with TV? I have two of them, and when I first got them, I wasn't impressed with how loud they got. This is something that I was concerned with too, but I have a really large living room. It has tall ceilings. It's pretty wide. I never get the HomePods in stereo mode up past 50%. They are so loud. Unless you want like an absolute rumbling theater experience, which if that's what you're going for, then yeah, these might not be loud enough for you, and you might need something with a subwoofer and actual 5 speakers or 7 speakers or something. But for most people, I think these get plenty loud. In fact, I never turn them up more than halfway, like I said, because they're loud enough. I haven't even tested them at full strength yet, but one of the things I do like about the HomePods is the fact that even as they get louder, they still remain accurate, and they have that beautiful sound quality that I love about the HomePods. They don't get distorted and all whack. They retain that same atmosphere and talent that I love about their sound, even when you start pushing the volume, unlike a lot of speakers which sound like doo-doo the louder they get. David Muling, how far apart do the HomePods have to be for optimal sound? This is a great question. I think Apple actually recommends that you have them 6 feet apart. I don't know why. Maybe it's so that the speakers can each do their own independent jobs, shooting audio straight at your face and head. At 6 feet, I find that you have a really nice separation of the sound. Maybe that's why they recommend that. And you can hear things traveling out past you, out in front of you, and over from one speaker to the next. They volley the sound back and forth really nicely. So as long as you don't have like a 45-inch TV, and these days I don't think a lot of people do, I think that you're going to be real good. Stereo HomePods versus stereo HomePod minis. I got all the HomePod content you could ever want, so make sure that you tweak that subscribe button. More HomePod content is on the way. Jonathan Vega bringing a very important question. Yes, this Dolby Atmos support only works with the Apple TV 4K. And more than that, you have to have the current Apple TV 4K with the current OS. You have to have your OS updated on your iPhone, and you also have to have the current OS installed on your HomePods. All of that has to happen in order for your system or your iPhone to recognize that you have HomePods there and that you want to use them with Atmos support on your Apple TV 4K. And it will allow you to set your HomePods as the default audio out device for your Apple TV, which is what I do, and it's great because you turn the TV on and instantly your HomePods are on and they're broadcasting all your content right away. You don't have to go in and set it up manually every single time like you had to do before. Ron wants to know, can 4 HomePods be paired or only a max of 2? I think the Atmos effect would be even greater, more than a pair. So unfortunately, it's only 2 at a time. You either get 2 HomePods or 2 minis. If you want Atmos, it has to be 2 of the regular HomePods. I think it would be unbelievable if Tim Cook, and all his wisdom said, hey y'all, let's let them go ahead and do 5. Imagine this, you have 2 HomePods in the front, 3 minis in the back, so you could have actual real surround sound, plus you have the additional power of having all those speakers there. It would rattle your entire room. I think eventually Apple's gonna have to let us do this. It makes too much sense not to. 2 HomePods in the front, 3 in the back. That's a nice setup, no wires, everything's wirelessly, which is so sleek and convenient. I'm really hoping that's where we go, and maybe, just maybe, we get a HomePod subwoofer Hung, hung, hung. 2 speakers is not Dolby Atmos. So it is Dolby Atmos, but it works in virtualization. So they virtualize Atmos, they virtualize 7.1, they virtualize 5.1. And again, you could set up a whole elaborate theater system in your room and it might sound better, but it's not gonna be as easy. And I bet you it won't be as inexpensive. And oh, they're not gonna have HomeKit support. So there are a lot of pluses to using the old HomePods. You get a lot of features built in. You're getting a lot of smarts and intelligence and technology for that $400 investment. And oh, by the way, it also does Dolby Atmos 7.1 and 5.1 virtualize, which sounds incredible. Now, what I wasn't expecting was so much hate on my TV that, yes, I purchased 12 years ago. Tomas said 2000s called, they want their TV back. Now, clearly, many of you aren't aware of the legendary Pioneer Kuro, one of the finest televisions ever made. I bought it 12 years ago for $3,500. It's a 50-inch plasma TV. It is still one of the best TVs available today if you want 1080p content. The menu system is absolutely terrible. There's nothing about the TV that I would say I love other than the picture quality and that beautiful 90s aesthetic. You can't get that beautiful aesthetic these days. Everything's so thin. Everyone wants their bezels thin. I like my bezels like I like your mom, thick with 2 C's. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. I hope I answered a lot of your questions. If not, go ahead and leave them down below. I'll take a look. I'll see if I can answer your questions. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. My name is Erfon Elijah, Gadget Hunter. I got so many more HomePod videos on the way. HomePod Mini versus HomePod. HomePod Mini stereo mode versus HomePod stereo mode. Comment down the pipe. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there, and I'll see you guys next time.